Hi Millwall fans, Ben Thompson here. Chat with Chaps in partnership with Cancer Research are hosting a collection day at the Den. It's on the 12th of April. There's a chance to get hold of signed shirts, pin badges and many more things. So show your appreciation and support and get down there like the true Millwall family does. Thank you.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world listening to this. As you've just heard from the man himself, Ben Thompson, Chat with Chaps are hosting a cancer research charity day. We will do more on that a little bit later. But for now, we are, and I say we, myself, Stephen, and my guest today, Angelo. Angelo, how are you?
Yeah, all good, Stephen. Always nice on the back of a win, isn't it, mate? So
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we're here today to bring you a preview of Sheffield United. The Portsmouth preview seemed to go down quite well. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we haven't got a view from the opposition. I think the quick turnaround, the sort of recording time that we're doing this may have been a stumbling block, but we'll be as impartial as we can be. We'll bring you as much information from Sheffield United's side as well as Millwall's as possible. As always, over here at Chat with Chaps, everything that we do, all the money that's raised goes towards cancer research. It's a charity that's possibly touched everybody that's watching this videos live. It's touched all of the boys that do the show. So if you could like, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your family, share with anybody that may be interested in listening to us ramble on about Millwall Football Club, we would very, very much appreciate it. Angelo, obviously we're here to discuss Sheffield United. However, the Lions are going into the game off of the back of a 2-1 victory against Portsmouth. Quick thoughts on that?
First half yesterday, I think we were a better team, but no real chances created, was there? Obviously, what is going to affect us up at Sheffield United is I don't think we're going to have our main defender, Japhet Tanganga. Looks like a broken bone in his wrist. So I don't know how serious that's going to be. But obviously, he's going to be a huge miss up at Sheffield United without a shadow of a doubt. Second half yesterday, come to life a little bit more, didn't it? And again, didn't create many chances, but luckily we've got a striker who, as you know, I said it yesterday in our group chat, he's got such a tremendous conversion for chances. Doesn't need that many chances, doesn't miss many chances, and luckily two great headers, mate, to give us the 3 points yesterday. And I thought Portsmouth's goal, I've rewatched it this morning. That was lucky, mate. That was lucky. You know, the guy's shot's gone through three of Millwall's defenders' legs. You know, poor Saville on the line just couldn't keep it out. But yeah, that was pure luck, I thought. So yeah, it's a shame we didn't keep a clean sheet as well. But yeah, great to get the win. Great to keep our very slim chances of making the top six alive. But yeah, we have got such a tough game coming up on Tuesday at Sheffield United, which obviously we're here to speak about. Yeah, what did you think of the game?
I thought we were good value for it. I think Portsmouth were good, but not great. They had spells, but they didn't do much with it. Much like us, I think in games they weren't bad, but they wasn't good. If that makes sense, they had their moments. It just seems to be they were missing the cutting edge, which we usually have been missing that cutting edge in certain games. We're crying out for a striker to finish off chances. So yesterday, with the big Serb finishing two chances, obviously the second one was a superb cross from Casper De Norre to set up the goal. So we found our cutting edge and they didn't. And hopefully that takes some confidence into Sheffield United and into Bramall Lane. Looking at the Blades, you know, they're second in the league. I think without the points deduction, I know it's only 2, but without the points deduction, they would be top. They have the second best home record in the division. They picked up 45 points from a possible 60. They've got goals from all over the place. Tyrese Campbell, Tom Cannon, Gustavo Hamer. Their squad is full of superstar players, but they're going into the game off of the back of a 1-0 defeat to Gary Rowett's Oxford. And Chris Wilder made a couple of interesting comments after the game, which I think you've picked up on, Angelo.
Yeah, I watched his. It's about a 5 minute post match. Chris Wilder is normally quite aggressive and defensive against the interviewee, but yesterday it was like hands up. You know, Oxford just done us yesterday, and the way that Oxford done them was literally just by piling balls into the box constantly, especially from throw-ins. They've got obviously Volks, haven't they, Oxford, and that's where their goal come from. Obviously, he's launched one in, they flicked it on, the ball's fallen loose, and Dembele's got a simple finish. So I think that's the way we got to go, mate. We just got to go dirty. We got to go nasty. We got to go long ball, and we just got to just keep heaping balls in. We got Lenny back, who's obviously he's got our best throw in as well. So if Lenny can do what Volk's done for Oxford yesterday, I think we need to play with two strikers if we're going to launch big balls into their box like Oxford did. You know, Alex Neil is very tactical, very clever. I'm sure he would have seen it. I'm sure he's going to rewatch their match, and I'm sure he's going to pick up that's how Oxford got the win yesterday. You know, and you know, literally Wilder turned around and said, you know, they deserved it because they beat them up a little bit. You know, the only problem you got is obviously Sheffield United have got absolute quality players that down the other end can cause you serious damage. And also, I think next Saturday, I don't think Josh Coburn can play, can he, against Middlesbrough?
No.
So this might be. So I would definitely play the two strikers again. There was some of the Millwall fans were saying it didn't work before, but I didn't think it was that bad yesterday. And it's only their second or third game playing together, so you've got to give them a bit of time to gel. But yeah. Going back to that interview, Stephen, I think if we are going to start piling balls into their boxes, we've got to have both the tall strikers in there, mate. So that's the way I would go, is literally try and mimic what Gary Rowett done yesterday.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing, you touched on it during your sort of intro regarding Japhet Tanganga, obviously, unfortunately picked up an injury yesterday, which we don't know how long it's going to keep him out for. Some are saying it could potentially be till the end of the season. Some are saying it could be a minor injury, and maybe it's something that can be sort of plastered up, if you will, and getting back out on the field. I think it's unlikely that we'll see him on Tuesday. I think that one will definitely come too soon. But to touch on, if we're going to put balls into the box or crosses or long throws, we will have, as well as the two forwards, Tristan Crammer and Jake Cooper. Lenny obviously will be taking the throw-ins, but perhaps from corners will be another threat in the air. If Alex Neil looks at Oxford, that is potentially a way for the Lions. It's not just the forwards that can get on the end of it. We do have two massive centre halves that can also do damage. What on the centre halves? Obviously, I think we all know that Crammer was brought in to perhaps play at centre back at one point. Let's play devil's advocate, perhaps to replace Japhet Tanganga when he potentially leaves. Probably the hardest test he could probably face in his first full 90 minutes playing at centre back in the Championship, going to Bramall Lane. What do you expect from Tristan Crammer on Tuesday?
Well, yeah, the interesting thing is, you know, I think we can all agree that the second half defence of Millwall will be the start of our defence next season, because we all expect Japhet to make the move to a bigger club or even a Premiership. You know, sadly, we think that's going to happen. So, like you said, Tristan Crammer, he was brought in as a centre half. He got to play there yesterday. And yeah, you're right, Stephen. You know, he should be a bigger threat from corners because he's a lot taller than Japhet. So and obviously we know that Sheffield United don't handle Mr. Jake Cooper very well either, do they? So
well, absolutely. He's Jake Cooper. That is an interesting one because he hasn't scored for a little while. Coops. I was trying to. I know he's got a couple this season, but he hasn't scored for a little while. So maybe he's saving another little special for Bramall Lane on Tuesday night. I mentioned earlier the Tyrese Campbell. I think he's got 10 goals. Tom Cannon 9 goals. Gustavo Hamer, 8 goals. They've also got in their squad just some other players, forward players, Brereton Diaz, Rhian Brewster, Callum O'Hare, Kiefer Moore, Raksaki. The names, just, you can just go through their squad, and they're obviously one of the better teams in the division. The league table shows that they're one of the better teams in the division. They're coming off of the back of a defeat, so their supporters will be expecting them to hit the game hard. I think they'll look at us as a weaker opposition to visiting Bramall Lane. I don't necessarily see us like that, but I think they will. They will expect for them to turn us over quite comfortably. Do you think that they will potentially look to try and blow us out of the water? Do you think Chris Wilder's a little bit more sort of tactical savvy, should we say, to say, look, we can't take Millwall lightly, whereas the supporters will be expecting them to come out fast against us?
Do you know what, Stephen? Right at the end of that interview, that the post-match that I listened to with Chris Wilder, I felt a little bit disrespected, because Chris Wilder said Tuesday can't come quick enough so we can put it right. And I thought, come on, mate, it ain't a given you're going to beat us. And the way he said it was like it was a given they're going to beat us. Obviously they are the favourites. I don't know if you've ever been to Bramall Lane, Stephen. I went there once. It is quite an intimidating ground. It is old school ground. It's going to be packed. They're in second place. They're going for automatic promotion. Leeds are falling apart. They're gonna try and put the pressure, even more pressure on Leeds. So it is a humongous game for Sheffield United, and all I'm hoping, mate, is that the pressure gets to them, because at this time of the season, you will get some weird results being thrown up. And let's not get it wrong, mate. Hull went there about a month ago and won 3-0 at Bramall Lane.
I think the problem is, at this stage of the season, as you say, results are just crazy. You've got teams getting last minute goals yesterday in the division. Even ourselves getting last minute goals. Plymouth rock bottom beat playoff chasing Norwich. There's a lot that can go into it. At one point, I do want to mention to you, Angelo, that I find really, really interesting. Usually the midweek fixtures there's some on Tuesday, some on Wednesday. So, those that play on Wednesday can kind of see who has done what the day before. So they kind of know exactly what it is that they have to do. Burnley, Sheffield United, obviously, and Leeds all actually play on Tuesday. So none of them have an advantage in seeing what the other teams do around them. Leeds kick off slightly later. They're the 8 o'clock kickoff on Tuesday. Do you think, perhaps, I have been to Bramall Lane, and it's one of the, I've always said it's one of the best grounds I've been to. The day I went there, it was excellent. We drew 1-1, but it was a fantastic atmosphere. That it was a very, very, very noisy ground. Do you think perhaps if Burnley take the lead, they play Derby, and if news filters through that Leeds take the lead against Middlesbrough, that could come into it? That would the Sheffield United fans get nervous at all?
Do you know what I think it is, Steve? I think we just need to not concede for as long as we possibly can, because we know what it's like, mate. Yeah, once if they're searching for that goal, the crowd get nervous, the atmosphere gets nervous, and there's more chance of us doing something on the counter attack. So I think the key to that game is keep them out for as long as possible. But like you said, mate, they've got some unbelievable players. I love Gus Hamer, mate. He is the dream midfielder. He's strong, he's aggressive, he's a little bit naughty, he's got a shot on him, he scores goals. He is an outstanding midfielder, mate, and we've got to try and keep him quiet. They've done fantastic with that guy from Peterborough as well. Harrison Burrows, he causes some damage down the wing as well. We're going to have to keep an eye out for him. And I do believe they've got a future England goalkeeper on their hands as well, with Michael Cooper, mate. I think he's an outstanding goalkeeper, and I will be shocked if one day he's not the England goalkeeper, mate. I rate him that highly. So they're them. I'd say that they're their three main players. As a matter of interest, Steve, did you go Sheffield United when Morrison scored the late equaliser?
I
Is that
did.
the one?
That is
Yeah,
the one that I went to. Yeah.
that's the game I was at, mate. And did you get shepherded out after? And the police were like marching us through the town centre.
Yeah.
Was you in that? Was you in that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
we just
was.
getting
Yeah.
people just throwing pound coins at us as we go
Yeah.
through the. Yeah, that was mad, mate. I was at that game as well. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That look, Sheffield United are they make it notoriously difficult for teams that in this division, certainly, maybe not in the Premier League. They'd probably be disappointed with their efforts. If being honest, they would be. But it is difficult. I mean, that even leaving the ground, as you say, we were both there. You still felt that sort of intimidating
Oh, mate,
atmosphere even after the ground, outside of from the football. So that all of that does come into it. Obviously, as Millwall fans and as Millwall players, the expectation will always be that kind of thing doesn't phase. It doesn't phase us as supporters. It shouldn't phase the players. They should be ready to go out and take that challenge. Head and shoulders, stand tall, and kind of take it and give everything that they've got. From our perspective, from the players' perspective, we're ninth in the league. Some would say it's quite amazing that we've got there. I'm not discrediting any of the players or the wins that Neil and also Neil Harris managed to pick up before he left us. But we've been very, very inconsistent this year, all over the pitch, scoring goals, win games, lose games. It just feels like it's been a bit of a strange season, but we're still in with a chance of making the playoffs, albeit it might be a little bit unlikely. I said it to Steve on our preview show for pre-Portsmouth that did we have to win the game to keep our faint chances alive? I'll ask you again, do we have to go to Bramall Lane on Tuesday and win the game to keep any of those chances alive?
I think so, mate. Yeah, it's 6 points, isn't it? And there's only 6 games left, mate. So, yeah, we just got to keep trying to win. Steve, we're 8th in the away table, mate. We're not a bad away team. They've lost 3 times at home this season, Sheffield United, albeit that they won. I think they won 14 at home or something. But yeah. Answer to your question, yeah, we need to get something from that game. We know we got 3 tough away games, and then we've got the form team coming to the Den next Saturday in Middlesbrough, who are just somehow just found some unbelievable form. So if we can nick a point at Sheffield United, hopefully the crowd, it'll be a packed Den. We've got our special charity event as well, which obviously everyone's looking forward to. So it should be. It was a good crowd yesterday, wasn't it? It was not many seats empty yesterday. So if we can grab a point at Bramall Lane, scrape a win against Middlesbrough, and just keep this, like Alex Neil keeps saying it, keep the season alive for as long as we possibly can. But yeah, if we lose, it's going to be a tough battle, mate, to make them top 6. In my head, we're not going to do it, so it'll be a Brucey bonus if somehow we're still hanging around there with 2-3 games to go.
Absolutely, and I think for me, I maybe shouldn't have, maybe negative, however people would view it. I disregarded the season a little while ago. I thought that we were too inconsistent. I thought that teams may pull away from us. They haven't quite pulled away how I thought, and there's that lingering, you never know if we put a run together. But I am in your camp. I think we're probably going to just fall short. But it just goes to show that even with all the changes, even with all the behind the scenes things that have gone on, we're going to Bramall Lane on Tuesday. We've got 6 games to go, and we're still sat here thinking, well, there's a chance, it's unlikely, but it just goes to show that we have got something at this football club at the moment. I don't think everything's quite right, but they're still just slowly chugging along. How do you see the game going on Tuesday from a Millwall perspective? What are you expecting from us?
I think we've got to go there, sadly, with a mentality to defend, and just to try and nick something on the counter attack, mate. They're going to come at us. The crowd's going to be up for it. They're in second place. It's in their hands. And like I said to you earlier, Stephen, the longer we can keep them out, then the nervier the stadium's going to get. They're going to feel it. And if we can get the Serb a couple of chances, he'll put one of them away for sure. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be how good is our defence on Tuesday night to see whether we can withstand the pressure, because we are going to be under a lot of pressure throughout the game. And knowing us, we'll probably just concede in the fucking second minute or something. But yeah, just keep them out for as long as we possibly can. That's our only way. You know, we're not great, are we? Once we lose the first goal, we're not great at coming back. Yes, we've done it at Watford, but we don't tend to do it very often. So just if we can keep that clean sheet somehow on Tuesday night, then it's a result for us, you know. So backs against the wall.
I think we probably were saying the same things when we were going to Ellen Road. Realistically, we were saying, you know, don't concede too early, try and stay in the game. And to be fair, obviously we conceded after 4 minutes or whatever it was, but we did stay in the game. We didn't create too much, but we did stay in it. So had we have not conceded, and it was an unfortunate goal, but had we have not conceded, I think that the Leeds fans would have got nervy, and I think the players would have got nervy. So Alex Neil just has to say to the players, look, stay switched on for that first 5-10 minutes. There could be a barrage. It could be a bit of a, you know, backs against the wall, but stay strong. Keep us in the game, and you never know that the tide of the game might sort of turn. I will ask. I've done one of these preview shows, perhaps no, two of these preview shows, and I think I've got the prediction right twice. So I'm on for a hat trick this time. But I will ask you first, Angelo, who, if any, goal scorers on Tuesday, and what do you think the score will be?
I am gonna go for a 1-1. Yeah, and I'm going to go for a Jake Cooper goal.
You've basically stolen exactly what I was about to say there. So I'm going to be boring, and I will stick with it as well. I'll go 1-1. I think Jake Cooper's due a goal. Obviously, with Ivanovic, you know, getting a couple of goals, he's now up to 8 in the league, 9 overall. I think if you, as you said, if you get him a chance, I think he's got every opportunity to take it. Up against a good goalkeeper, as you say, one of the, if not the best goalkeeper in the division. I think Burnley fans, if any of them will watch this, will argue that their man is the better keeper, but Cooper is very, very good. But from our perspective, our Jake Cooper, he's due a goal. He loves Sheffield United, and also I did look this up. In the last 5 games we've played against Sheffield United in the league, we've actually won 3 of them. So we do tend to perform quite well against them, and we have beat them at Bramall Lane. So anything is possible. As you mentioned, Angelo, a little bit earlier, and I said it at the top of the show, and Mr. Ben Thompson led us in. Next Saturday, so after Sheffield United, we play Middlesbrough at the Den, 3 o'clock kickoff. However, the Chat with Chaps and Cancer Research Day will be in full swing. Chris and the guys behind the scenes have worked incredibly hard to make the day happen. There's going to be pin badges. There's going to be some shirts. If you haven't already seen the pre-order link, please go and check that out. There's some great Chat with Chaps shirts on there signed by some heroes, some former legends. You know, it's been very, very well supported by the club. Us guys will be there next week with our buckets, our card readers. Basically, as I said last week, we want to take your money, but it is all going to a great cause. It's going to cancer research, and we look forward to meeting as many of you as possible. So if you are thinking about getting a ticket for next Saturday, if maybe Tuesday doesn't go our way, or even if it does go our way and you're not sure about getting a ticket, I urge you, please do come and support the boys and come and support the Chat with Chaps and Cancer Research Day. It looks like it's going to be excellent, Angelo, doesn't it?
Yeah. You know, like you said, Chris and Phil, they've worked so hard behind the scenes to make this happen, and you know, it's for charity. So hopefully it turns out to be a success. And I believe you can buy the t-shirts already online, can't you, Stephen? I think.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, the pre-order link has gone up with the shirts. It will be in the description of this video. So if you are watching this and you haven't seen it, make sure check the description. You'll be able to go through and pre-order your shirt. if you look on the Chat with Chaps socials all through the week, I'm pretty sure that Chris is going to be revealing little snippets of all of the superstars that have signed it, all of the excellent stuff that's going on. I am aware, I am obviously of the era, but I'm sure that lots of people will feel the same, that Neil Harris has actually signed a couple of the shirts as well. So very, very, very rare items that are up for sale that are signed by Millwall royalty, shall we say. So check the link out. Check all the socials during the week. All of us guys will be pushing it on our socials. So if you don't follow us, or if you only follow Chris or me or whoever, we'll all be pushing it so you can't miss it. And we look forward to meeting as many of you as possible next Saturday. Angelo, thank you very much for taking your time out to join me to record this one. Hopefully the Lions can pull through and get a result on Tuesday. I think a point would be good for us. If we can go there and win, fantastic. Any final thoughts on the game or on anything else that's going on at the moment at the club?
No, it's all positive, mate. And obviously we've got a lot of injured players as well, haven't we, mate? You know, a lot of the, you know, the Lovelace, the Benita Baker, you know, we haven't even seen them yet, you know. So I'm really excited about next season as well, Stephen, you know. And if we can find some attacking players, midfielders in the window, Alex Neil's, you know, Eddie's bit of time with them. We'll have the whole pre-season. It's exciting times, mate. It is exciting times. And yeah, if we miraculously get into the playoffs this season, fantastic. If we don't, then I'll look forward to next season. And just quickly on the Championship as well, mate. I'm actually quite excited about the dogfight at the bottom as well. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Like you got the fight for the top three, but there's a massive fight to stay up as well. And they, you know, Plymouth won yesterday. Luton slowly turning the corner. They've been beaten in 4 games now. I fancy Cardiff to slip and go down now. Derby, you know, had 4 wins on top but lost yesterday. Stoke is a weird club, you know. You never know when they're going to win or lose or draw. So it's going to be exciting, but the battle at the bottom of the Championship as well as the battle at the top, you know.
I mean, what you've said there, as I say, I think there's 5 or 6 points separating about 8 teams at the bottom of the league, and also at the top of the league. We're still, you know, there's still 6 or so teams that will say, oh, we can still make the playoffs. So the Championship is I think in terms of value for money and in terms of competitiveness, it is up there with one of the best in the world. I think sometimes it's a frustrating league to be part of. We've come home from games, I'm sure, and gone, oh God, you know, how have we not won that one? But it is a cracking league, and hopefully, as you say, exciting times to be a Millwall fan. We've got a lot to be positive for. We've got a lot to look forward to. Hopefully, as I say, that will continue, and at Bramall Lane, the boys will go out and give us a performance to be proud of, and hopefully, maybe we can sneak 3 points and keep the dream alive going on to the final 5 games. As I say, thank you very much, Angelo, for joining us, guys. Thank you for listening to the podcast. It's available. It'll be available, I think, all over Spotify, the usual podcast channels, or if your preference is YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. As I said at the beginning of the show, we appreciate every viewer that we get. Sometimes, and I often say this, I'm amazed that there's even 10 people that want to listen to me talk about football, and it blows us away that we get the viewers that we do. So if you can like, if you can subscribe, if you can share, if you can spread the word as far as wide of what we do, it's very, very much appreciated by me, Angelo, and all of the boys that you see produce the content. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Hi, it's Steve Morrison here, and you're listening to Chat with Chaps, chatting Millwall, come rain or shine.